I remember the smell of roses, the faint scent of my suit, and the way my hands trembled as I waited. My heart thudded like a drum in my chest, and I thought, today's everything. The doors opened, and she should have walked down the aisle, but she didn't. Ethan. Her voice came from behind me, soft, but it wasn't what I expected. I turned, and there she was, Sophia. Not in the way I imagined, not glowing with love for me. She was smiling at him. Daniel, the so-called hero everyone adored. I deserve him, Ethan. You'll understand someday, she said. I froze. What? What do you mean? This is our wedding. My voice cracked, betraying the anger and shock that filled me. She laughed lightly, like it was some cruel joke. Our wedding? That was 10 years of pretending, Ethan. I can't do it anymore. I need someone better, someone everyone will admire. Better. I shook my head, my chest tightening. You promised me. You said we'd face everything together. She looked at me with pity or maybe disgust. I couldn't tell. I'm sorry. I really am. But I can't stay. I've chosen my path. I stumbled back, gripping the altar railing. You can't just, oh, but I can. She turned to Daniel, taking his hand, walking past me like I was nothing. The crowd gasped, whispers spreading through the hall like wildfire. I felt the room spin. Why? Why would you do this after everything? I whispered to myself. No one answered. No one moved. My family's faces were blank, shocked, or worse, indifferent. Sophia glanced over her shoulder once, a smirk I would never forget. Don't wait for me, Ethan. You'll be fine someday. Maybe. I wanted to scream, to run after her, to demand answers. But I stayed rooted, watching her vanish into Daniel's arms. My knuckles whitened as I clenched them. Ethan. My father's voice trembled. He looked confused, almost afraid. Son, maybe. We can talk later. Later. I shouted, my anger raw and hollow. She left me at the altar. She chose him over me and you. You're just standing there? No one spoke. I felt the betrayal not just from Sophia, but from everyone I thought loved me. My heart wasn't just broken. It was shattered. I sank to the floor. Head in my hands, the sounds of the hall fading into a dull echo. I trusted you. I loved you. And this is what I get. My voice broke, but I didn't care. I remembered the promise I made to myself in that moment, amidst the tears and fury. I will come back. I will rewrite this. They will all pay for underestimating me. Why me? Why did it have to be me? I murmured to the empty hall, anger coiling like fire in my veins. Then I thought of her smug smile, Daniel's arrogant grin, and my sister's empty stares. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was a challenge, a gauntlet thrown at my feet. And I would pick it up. For the first time since the world collapsed around me, a strange calm settled over my rage. I would survive this. I would return. And when I did, no one would recognize the man who walked back into their lives. Little did they know. I wasn't gone for good CHP.2. I woke up the next morning feeling hollow, like the air itself had turned cold inside my chest. My wedding day was over. No bride, no family cheering me on. Just silence. Ethan, are you okay? Lena's voice cut through my thoughts, soft but laced with something I couldn't name. I looked at her. Okay, how can I be okay? She left me. She left all of us. She smirked faintly. Poor Ethan, always so naive. You really thought someone like Sophia would stay? I froze. Her words stabbed harder than any blow Sophia had dealt. Naive you? You think this is funny? I'm not laughing, she said lightly. I'm just observing. Her eyes were sharp, but I couldn't tell if it was amusement or something darker. I clenched my fists. Observing what? My humiliation? My heart breaking in front of everyone? You should have seen it coming, she replied. You've always been too trusting. I swallowed hard. The room spun. Too trusting. That phrase echoed through me, mixing with Sophia's smug smirk from yesterday. I remembered the words, the coldness. The way she had turned to Daniel like I'd never existed. I can't believe you all. No one stopped her, I whispered, the anger and disbelief tangled together. Lena shrugged. We tried kinda. But she made her choice. And really, maybe you needed this lesson? A lesson? I laughed bitterly. I lost everything. My fiancé, my trust, my family's respect. Lesson? You call this a lesson? Her expression didn't change. Life is full of lessons, Ethan, you'll see. I turned away, needing space. I don't want your lessons. I don't want sympathy. I just need to figure out what comes next. You really think you can figure it out alone? She asked, her voice softer now, almost taunting. I don't care, I snapped. I need to survive this. I need to fix whatever's left of my life. Lena gave a small, almost imperceptible laugh. Good luck with that, but maybe one day you'll be stronger for it. I left the room without another word. The house felt suffocating. Every corner whispered betrayal. Every shadow reminded me of Sophia's cold eyes. I could almost hear her, taunting me from afar. You'll understand someday. I sat alone in my old room, tracing the cracks in the wall. I relived the humiliation of seeing her with Daniel. The whispering guests. The silent sisters. I thought of Maya and Clara, too timid to intervene. Their quiet faces burned into my memory. But it was Lena's words that kept echoing in my mind. I'll come back, I murmured to myself. I'll show them what happens when you destroy someone's life. I began to plan, slowly at first. How could I survive? How could I return? I imagined being stronger, smarter, and untouchable. The anger coiling inside me became a tool, not just pain. I whispered threats I didn't dare voice out loud. For the first time since the betrayal, I felt a spark. A strategy forming. It was fragile, but it was mine. And one day, I would step back into their lives. And nothing would be the same. And then I disappeared, vanishing without a trace. I hadn't stepped foot in my old city for 10 years. But the memories came fast, like broken glass under my skin. I looked at the skyline, then at my reflection in the car window. New face, new name, same burning anger. Do you think they'll recognize me? I asked, my voice low, tense, as I entered the cafe where Miss Chen waited. She didn't flinch. No, not yet. You've changed too much. But that doesn't mean you're safe. They'll see the shadow of who you were soon enough. I smiled, a slow, deliberate curl of the lips. Good. They should be scared. They ruined me. Left me to rot. Now it's my turn. Miss Chen leaned forward, her eyes sharp. Careful, Ethan. You've been planning this for years. But impatience will ruin you faster than they ever did. I'm ready, I said. I've studied every move. Daniel, Sophia, even my sisters. Every weakness, every lie, every secret. I know their schedules, their habits. I've prepared for every slip. You're ambitious, she said. But revenge is tricky. Don't let anger blind you. Play the long game. I clenched my fists under the table. Anger isn't blinding me. It's guiding me. I can't forget what they did. 10 years, Chen. 10 years of rebuilding myself quietly, learning, becoming better than them. She nodded slowly. Then the stage is set. But remember, the smallest mistake will ruin everything. 8. I leaned back, thinking of Daniel. His arrogant grin, the way he flaunted his success. He thinks he's untouchable. But everyone has cracks. I just need to find the right moment. And Sophia? Chen asked. She's careful, but no one can hide guilt forever. She crumble, I whispered. She always has. And Lena. I'll enjoy seeing her panic when she realizes the game has changed. Chen gave a faint smile. You sound more confident than ever. But be wary. Confidence can be a trap if it blinds you to new risks. I've thought about that, I said. I've left nothing to chance. I've watched, tracked, memorized. Every conversation, every interaction they think is private, I know about it. You sound like a different person, she said. Good, that's what they'll never expect. I looked out the window at the busy street. People rushed by, oblivious to the storm brewing behind closed doors. Daniel probably laughed at some event. Sophia probably manipulated someone else. My sisters probably whispered about me in the past tense. They think I'm gone. They'll pay, I murmured. Not with brute force. With precision, every lie, every betrayal, every act of arrogance, they'll see the consequences. Chen touched my arm lightly. Remember, Ethan, timing is everything. Strike too soon, and they'll recover. Wait too long, and your anger might consume you. I've waited 10 years, I said, voice steady. Another few months won't matter. The first move is coming soon. They'll realize the man they left for dead isn't the same man they abandoned. She studied me, and I could feel the weight of her approval. Then go. Begin quietly. Test them. Measure reactions. Make them falter before the real game begins. I nodded. I'll do it. Every secret, every weakness, they won't even see me coming. As I left the cafe, I felt the familiar thrill of control and anticipation. 10 years had made me stronger, sharper, more dangerous. They thought I was gone forever, but the first move has already begun. I slipped into the party quietly, sticking to the shadows. The laughter, the music, the clinking of glasses, it all reminded me of what I had lost and what they had stolen. Daniel, you're just too perfect. Sophia cooed, leaning close to him, her hand brushing his arm. I froze. So, she's really doing it. Still flaunting it, he laughed, smug as ever. I know, Sophia. People can't help noticing me. I exhaled slowly, keeping my distance. Anna's voice cut in softly beside me. Be careful, Ethan. They won't see this coming. But one wrong step, and it could blow everything. I've got it under control, I whispered, my eyes never leaving them. Sophia tilted her head, pretending to giggle. I just sometimes wonder if I made the right choice. You know, Daniel, with Ethan out of the picture, Daniel smirked. Don't worry about him. He's irrelevant now. I felt my jaw tighten. Irrelevant? They think I'm irrelevant? Do you really think so? Sophia asked, a faint tremor in her voice, almost hidden by the music. Daniel laughed. Of course. Why dwell on the past when the present is perfect? I stepped closer, careful not to reveal myself. Perfect, huh? Let's see how long that lasts. Anna touched my arm again. See small cracks? That doubt in her voice, you can use it. Make them question everything they think they've built. I nodded subtly. Good. And Daniel, always so arrogant. But even he has fears. Sophia looked at Daniel, almost pleading. Sometimes I feel like maybe we rushed into this. Rushed? Daniel scoffed. We did what we had to. Ethan is gone. Focus on us. I smiled faintly. They had no idea that gone wasn't permanent. Across the room, Lena appeared in a group of guests. She laughed loudly at Daniel's jokes, but her eyes flicked towards Sophia nervously, betraying her calm facade. Good. Fear is always detectable if you look closely. I moved slightly closer to overhear. You're doing well, Daniel said to Lena quietly. Keep her distracted. Make sure Ethan's name doesn't come up. Her lips pressed into a thin line. Of course, everything is under control. I felt my pulse quicken. Under control? I muttered under my breath. Not for long, Anna whispered. See how they try to manage appearances. You've waited 10 years. Now is when you test them. I nodded again, taking mental notes. Sophia's flinches. Daniel's arrogance. Lena's forced smiles. Every word, every gesture, every hesitation was ammunition. I don't know if I can trust him, Sophia murmured to no one in particular, almost inaudible. Daniel brushed it off. You don't need to trust him. Ethan doesn't exist anymore. I clenched my fists in my pockets. Not yet, but soon, very soon. Anna gave me a quiet nod. Remember, Ethan, patience. Make them crack, then strike. Everything else will follow. I kept my gaze on Sophia, noting the faint trembling of her hands as she poured wine into a glass. Daniel laughed again, loud and careless, completely unaware. The room seemed to tilt slightly, my heart pounding. I could see their walls, their carefully built facades, beginning to fracture. I had waited a decade for this moment. Every hesitation, every doubt they were mine to exploit. And then Sophia's eyes locked onto mine and froze. CHP5 I watched from the corner, my hands folded, my expression calm. Daniel laughed across the table, confident as always. He didn't know I had arranged this meeting or that I had invited the right people to see him slip. Daniel, are you sure about these numbers? I heard one guest ask. He waved a hand, arrogant. Of course. My investments are flawless. Trust me. I smiled quietly. Flawless, huh? I whispered to myself. We'll see. Lena leaned toward him, whispering, just make sure they don't see any mistakes. Ethan, I mean. She paused, realizing I was present. Her eyes flicked briefly to me. Good. They're starting to doubt each other. Daniel didn't notice. Relax, Lena. Everything is under control. These people don't understand how business works. I moved slightly, keeping a safe distance, letting my presence go unnoticed. Under control? Not for long, I muttered. A guest frowned. But Daniel, these documents don't match the reports we got last month. Are you hiding something? His smile faltered. Hiding, no. It's just an adjustment. Nothing serious. I leaned against the wall. Adjustment, huh? Let's see how long you can keep that up. Maya hovered nearby, glancing at Lena nervously. Is everything okay? She asked softly. Lena forced a laugh. Of course, Maya. Just some confusion with the reports. Nothing to worry about. I caught Maya's hesitation. Her loyalty was shaky. Good, I whispered. Doubt is beginning to grow. Daniel chuckled, trying to regain composure. Everyone's overreacting. I've done my homework. My track record speaks for itself. I couldn't resist. I stepped forward lightly, my voice calm but deliberate. Track record. Funny. The last quarter's numbers tell a different story. Care to explain that, Daniel? He froze, scanning the room. I noticed a flicker of panic in his eyes. Lena's hand brushed against my arm almost apologetically. Ethan, maybe I cut her off. No, Lena, this needs to happen. Let them see. One of the guests raised an eyebrow. Wait, Ethan, are you saying Daniel misrepresented the numbers? I nodded slowly. Yes, and there's more. Copies of the reports are right here. Everyone can compare. Daniel laughed nervously, his confidence cracking. This isn't what it looks like, I shook my head. It is exactly what it looks like. Your arrogance blinded you, and now everyone knows. Maya's voice trembled. I didn't realize... You didn't realize what? I asked softly. That the person you trusted could lie to your face. Daniel swallowed hard. You don't understand the situation, maybe? I interrupted. But now everyone else does. Lena's composure slipped. I could see her panic behind the forced smiles. Ethan, we can fix this too late, I said, letting my voice carry over the murmurs. The truth is out, and it's just the beginning. Daniel's face turned red, then pale. He opened his mouth, then closed it. His arrogance was gone. He fumbled with papers, trying to salvage what he could, but the damage was done. Maya looked between us, doubt and guilt flickering across her face. I don't know what to say. I smiled faintly. You don't need to say anything. Just remember this feeling. Remember that actions have consequences. I turned slightly, letting my eyes scan the room. Sophia wasn't here, but I imagined her reaction: guilt, fear, maybe even regret. I would test that later. Every subtle reaction, every faltering step, they were small victories, but I savored them. I could taste the power shift. Daniel, Lena, Maya, they were all starting to crumble. I whispered to myself. Quiet but firm, they'll never forget who I am, especially when the next secret comes to light. I entered Grandpa Lee's study quietly, the smell of old paper hitting me first. He was seated behind his desk, a stack of letters scattered before him. Ethan, Grandpa said, his voice hesitant. I didn't know you were back so soon? I'm here, I said softly. And I need to ask you something, he frowned. Ask me about what, son? I gestured to the letters. These, what are they? He shifted nervously. Oh, just some old family letters. I've been sorting through them, trying to understand past mistakes. I leaned closer. Past mistakes? Grandpa hesitated, then sighed. Your sisters. And Sophia. There are things I never knew. Letters, confessions, small notes they thought no one would see. Secrets I kept hidden, thinking it was better that way. I felt a spark. Secrets. Like what? He looked down at the papers, guilt heavy in his eyes. Things I shouldn't have known. Betrayals. Lies. I wanted to protect you. Them. I thought if I never spoke, the pain would go away. I let out a low laugh, sharp and controlled. Protect me? By hiding the truth? He flinched. I didn't want you to suffer, Ethan. I thought you'd move on. Move on. I whispered, my hands tightening. You had no idea what they did. No idea what I lost. At that moment, Sophia appeared in the doorway. Ethan, I didn't know you were here. Her voice trembled. I thought I wouldn't return? I interrupted softly, letting the anger under my calm show. You thought I would stay gone forever? Her eyes flickered with guilt. I never wanted to hurt you. It just happened. Everything spiraled out of control. Spiraled, I repeated, voice low and sharp. Do you even realize how much you broke me? Clara appeared quietly behind Sophia. I don't know what to say, she whispered. Her hands twisted nervously. I shouldn't have stayed silent. You shouldn't have, I said, letting my words cut softly. Your silence made you part of it. Sophia's lips quivered. Ethan, I'm sorry. I know that doesn't change anything. I studied them carefully. Their faces betrayed cracks, guilt, fear, shame. My strategy deepened. I let my calm dominate, but each question, each glance, forced them to confront their choices. You think apologies are enough? I asked. Do you even understand what that word means after everything you did? Grandpa shook his head. I tried to protect you. You thought wrong, I said simply. Secrets don't protect anyone. They hurt more. Clara looked down, her voice barely audible. I wanted to tell you, but I was scared. I didn't know how. It's too late for that now, I whispered, my gaze steady on Sophia. Your guilt, your lies they're showing, and I see it all. Sophia's hands trembled. Ethan, please. I can fix this somehow. You can't, I said, calm but cutting. Not without facing the consequences. Not without understanding the weight of your choices. I felt the subtle shifts in them, Clara's doubt, Sophia's fear, Grandpa's unease. Each reaction was fuel. My bursts of precision and restraint forced them to fracture emotionally. One, by the time the night ended, I had them unsettled, questioning, haunted by truths they thought buried. Every glance, every muttered apology, every stammer revealed their guilt, and I realized my plan was working. Slowly, carefully, the pieces were falling into place. By the end of the night, I had started rewriting their fates one truth at a time. CHP7, the city buzzed around me, but I felt nothing. Daniel stood on stage, smiling for the cameras, completely unaware of what I had set in motion. You're sure this is the right time? Anna asked softly, her eyes sharp. I'm sure, I said. He's arrogant. He won't suspect until it's too late. Daniel laughed, waving at the crowd. Another successful launch. Everyone, give yourselves a hand. I let the tension build silently, watching Sophia shift uneasily nearby. Her eyes flicked to me once, and I could see doubt creeping in. This isn't going well, Lena hissed under her breath. Do you realize what you're doing? Exactly what I planned, I replied calmly. Let them fight among themselves. Chaos is more telling than words. Daniel grinned, completely blind. I've done everything right. Everyone respects me. I'm untouchable, I smirked slightly. Untouchable? We'll see. A reporter stepped forward, holding up documents I had carefully planted. Daniel, there are claims these numbers were manipulated. Can you explain? He laughed nervously. Manipulated. That's absurd. I stepped closer, my voice carrying. Not absurd. The proof is right here. You told the investors one thing, but your actions say another. Daniel froze. Sweat appeared on his forehead. Lena tried to intervene. Daniel, maybe we can explain. No, I said firmly. Let them see, the crowd murmured. Phones rose. Cameras clicked. Daniel's facade began to crumble. Sophia bit her lip, her voice trembling. Daniel, this could ruin everything. It already is, I said softly, letting my words linger. Do you feel it? The consequences of the lies you've built your life on? Her gaze flicked to me again, and I caught the guilt. She had thought she escaped responsibility, but she hadn't. Not anymore. Daniel opened his mouth to speak, but the words faltered. Lena's hands twisted nervously. We can fix this. Ethan, please. I shook my head. No fixes. Not yet. Let them feel it all. Anna, you see why patience matters. Anna nodded. Don't give them mercy, Ethan. Let them feel every drop of it. I looked at Daniel, at Sophia, at Lena. Their arrogance, their confidence, they were cracking. I allowed myself a quiet satisfaction. Every stumble, every faltering phrase, every hesitant glance was mine to savor. Daniel tried again. This is a misunderstanding. You lied, I interrupted sharply. You built your empire on illusions, Daniel. Every smile, every boast, every claim, they're all lies. Sophia stepped back, her voice small. I didn't think it would. You didn't think it would matter. I whispered, every betrayal matters. Every deception has a price. Lena's shoulders tensed. Ethan, this is too far. They're already panicking. Good, I said, watching. Panic is clarity. Fear is honesty. Daniel's face drained of color. Ethan, why? After all these years? Because you deserve to see what it feels like to be exposed, I replied calmly. You thought I was gone? You thought I wouldn't return? And now you're learning the hard way. Sophia's hands trembled. I never imagined this. Ethan, I let the weight of silence settle, letting every word, every glance, every falter amplify their fear. My moral question lingered briefly. How far should revenge go? But the answer was simple. Enough to make them understand. Enough to make them fear me. Anna whispered. Now they know who you really are. I smiled faintly. The first wave of karma was in motion. Daniel's reputation, Sophia's confidence, Lena's composure. They were all crumbling. And I was the silent architect. I took a step back, watching them squirm. Their pride shattered. Their lies unraveling. And yet, the final move was still ahead. I had their fear in my hands, but the final move was still ahead. I stood in the center of the room, the weight of 10 years behind me, pressing silently. Sophia looked at me first, her eyes wide, voice trembling. Ethan, she began, almost a whisper. I thought I loved him, but I never stopped thinking about you. I let the words hang, feeling the tension tighten. Never stopped thinking about me? I asked slowly. Do you realize what that means after everything you did? Her lips quivered. I know. I was selfish. I made mistakes. Selfish, I echoed. Selfish doesn't begin to cover it. You broke me, Sophia. You broke my trust, my future, and my life. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't know how to stop. I was scared. I thought I was doing the right thing. I shook my head. Doing the right thing? By choosing him? By abandoning me at the altar? Tell me, did you think of me even once? Sophia looked down, silence stretching. I could see guilt and shame collide in her expression. Clara stepped forward next, her voice small, shaky. Ethan, I should have spoken up. I should have. Done something. I was weak. You were silent, I said, voice low but sharp. Your silence made you a part of the betrayal. Do you understand that? Clara's hands fidgeted. I do, and I'm sorry. I don't know if you can forgive me. You don't get forgiveness just for feeling guilty, I replied. You get accountability. You own what you did. That's the first step. Maya's voice broke in, hesitant. I thought I was protecting you, Ethan, but I see now. I was just afraid. Afraid to act. Afraid, I repeated, letting the word sting. Fear doesn't excuse betrayal. It only explains cowardice. Lena's eyes darted around, as if searching for escape. Ethan, please, I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. I interrupted sharply. Intent doesn't erase consequences. Every one of you made choices, and now you face them. Sophia sobbed quietly. I wish I could change it. I was blind. I thought I was in love. But I never really knew love until I thought I lost you. I leaned forward slightly, voice calm, but forceful. Words aren't enough. Actions are what matter. Do you see that now? Yes, she whispered. I see it, Clara nodded, shoulders slumping. I see it too. I was selfish and cowardly. Maya's eyes glistened. I understand now. I can't undo the past, but I can face it. Lena's voice cracked. I underestimated everything. I thought control mattered more than truth. I see it now. I let the silence stretch, letting their guilt settle. My strategy had worked. Each sister confronted their personal shame. Sophia's confession revealed the depth of her remorse. Now, said voice firm, you all understand that the past cannot be erased, but you can choose how to face it. That is where accountability ends and justice begins. Sophia's hands trembled. Ethan, what will you do? I looked at each of them, measuring my words. I balance what they deserve with what I choose to give. Revenge is satisfying, but justice leaves them with clarity. You will feel the weight of your choices, and you will understand. That is enough for now. They nodded quietly, some in relief, some in despair. I could see the cracks in their confidence, the lingering fear, the shame that had once been invisible, and I knew, even as their eyes met mine, that the reckoning wasn't finished. There was one truth left, the one final act that would seal everything. One last truth remained. My ultimate reckoning. CHP9 Daniel stormed into the room, his face red, fists clenched. Ethan, this ends tonight. I won't let you ruin me. I watched him calm, letting the tension build. Ruin you? Funny. Isn't that exactly what you tried to do to me? He sneered. You were gone. I had everything under control. Under control? I echoed, voice low and steady. You called me irrelevant, Daniel? Look at you now. Sophia flinched, eyes darting between us. Ethan, please don't. I cut her off gently but firmly. No interruptions. You need to see the consequences, Sophia. All of you do. Lena stepped forward, voice shaking. Ethan, Daniel can explain. Explain? I said sharply. Explain the lies? The betrayal? The arrogance? Everyone sees it now, Lena. Even you. This isn't over. Ayala's voice broke in, cool and precise. Actually, it is Daniel. Detective Ray stepped into the room, evidence folder in hand. We found everything. Bank transfers, fake contracts, manipulated reports. It all leads back to you. Daniel froze, eyes wide. What? How? I let a faint smile slip. Let's just say I've been thorough. Ray held up the documents. You thought you could escape accountability? You thought you could strike first? But the truth never stays hidden for long. Daniel swore under his breath. Ethan, this is impossible. Impossible? I said softly. You made your life impossible the moment you betrayed me. You built on lies, Daniel. Now the walls are crumbling. Sophia's lips quivered. I didn't know he'd go this far. You didn't think, Sophia? I said. You acted selfishly. And now you feel the weight. That's justice, isn't it? Lena's voice broke. Ethan, I never wanted this. You never wanted it? I asked slowly. Your fear of the past made you part of it. You hid, you lied, you manipulated. And now you face the truth. Daniel's fists shook, his arrogance evaporating. You planned all this. I planned the moment when the truth hit you hardest, I said, voice calm but cutting. Everything you relied on, status, lies, influence is gone. Look around you, Detective Ray added. Daniel, any attempt to manipulate witnesses or evidence now will only worsen your case. You can't undo this, he staggered back, disbelief etched into his face. I won't accept this. I shook my head slowly. Acceptance isn't optional, Daniel. Reality doesn't negotiate. Karma doesn't wait. And I waited 10 years for this. Sophia's voice trembled. Ethan, I never stopped thinking about you. I stop, I said softly, yet firmly. The words don't change the past. Actions do. And now you must live with the consequences of every choice, every lie. Lena lowered her gaze, shame and panic in her eyes. I see it. I understand now. Daniel's hands dropped, the last shred of defiance gone. Ethan, why? After everything? Why? I echoed. Because I couldn't let lies and betrayal go unpunished. Because justice matters. Because I am the one you underestimated for too long. Sophia's tears fell quietly. I understand now. I see it. Detective Ray nodded. It's done. No one can undo this. The evidence, the testimony, it's irrefutable. I let the weight of silence settle over them. My chest tightened. Briefly, justice served. Yes, but there was an echo of lingering emotion, a residue of pain I couldn't entirely forget. You thought you could ruin me? I said, voice calm but sharp. Look at you now. They stared at me, defeated, fractured, exposed. Fear, guilt, shame, they were all visible now. I breathed slowly, savoring the moment without reveling in cruelty. Justice was served. Karma had its due, but the complexity of emotions lingered, both mine and theirs. The room felt heavy, silent, the air charged with consequences finally realized. I had orchestrated the collapse, yet the victory carried an unexpected weight, closure and sorrow intertwined. I glanced at each of them, eyes meeting Sophia's one last time, Lena's, Daniel's. Knowing that nothing would ever be the same, the past had finally met the present hand. It burned brighter than ever. I sat quietly in Grandpa Lee's study, the afternoon sun streaming through the window. Clara poured tea beside me, her hands shaking slightly. Ethan, it's really over, isn't it? She asked softly. I nodded, taking the warm cup. It's over. But it wasn't easy. Not just for them. For me either. Clara glanced at me, concern in her eyes. I know you've changed. You're stronger now. But are you? Okay? I gave a small smile. I will be. It took a long time to reach this point, to face everyone, to see the truth. But I needed closure. Anna, standing near the doorway, added, You've done more than most could. You faced betrayal, lies, humiliation, and came out ahead. Yet you didn't destroy them completely. That's restraint. Restraint, I repeated, letting the word settle. I wanted them to feel the consequences, yes? But I didn't want to live in revenge forever. I wanted justice, not hatred. Grandpa Lee's voice was quiet, almost trembling. Ethan, I am proud of how you handled everything. You didn't let anger consume you, even when it could have. I leaned back, thinking of the past, The wedding, Sophia's betrayal, my sister's silence. It wasn't easy, Grandpa. I had to balance anger with patience, revenge with fairness. Every step mattered. Clara looked down, fidgeting. I'm sorry for everything. I should have spoken up sooner. I should have been braver. You've learned, I said gently. That's what matters. Guilt is a lesson only if it changes you. Anna nodded. And look at you now. You've reclaimed your life, your dignity, your future. That's something they can't take from you.
I let out a quiet laugh.
They thought I was gone forever. They thought I'd disappear without a trace. But the truth is, I never left. I just had to come back stronger, smarter, ready to face everything. Grandpa Lee placed a hand on my shoulder. And you did. You faced them, and you did it without losing yourself. That's remarkable. I picked up my wedding ring, the one Sophia had taken years ago. I held it carefully, turning it in my fingers. This used to be a symbol of loss, of betrayal, but now it's different. Clara leaned closer. Different how? I smiled faintly. Now it's a symbol of transformation. I'm taking it back not just physically, but emotionally. I've learned the value of trust, patience, and clarity. I've reclaimed my life, Anna added, and you've shown them the cost of their choices without destroying them entirely. That's wisdom, I nodded. Yes, I forgive selectively, but I keep the lessons. They live, humbled and aware. I move forward unchained from the past. Grandpa Lee looked at me with pride. Ethan, you've truly grown. You've turned betrayal into strength. And now, your future is yours. I placed the wedding ring on the desk, letting it catch the sunlight. It's time to let go fully. The past has been confronted, the betrayers faced, and justice served. Now, it's my life again. Clara smiled softly. We're here with you, Ethan. You're not alone? Anna nodded. And the path ahead is yours to choose. You've proven you can handle anything. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight of 10 years lift. Every confrontation, every calculated move, every difficult choice had led here. Closure wasn't just about them, it was about me. I stood looking out the window at the world beyond. Bright, wide, full of possibilities. The past had shaped me, but it would not define me anymore. The wedding ring caught the light once more, a symbol of what was lost and what had been reclaimed. I smiled quietly, feeling the warmth of freedom and resolution. The chapter of betrayal had ended, but my new life was just beginning.